Marsabet County.
The rest of the team, your name and your role in the county.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Boru Duba, Chief Officer of Finance, Marsabet County.
Good morning, everyone. Dapaso Bonaya, Chief Finance Officer, Marsabet County.
Morning, everyone. My name is Azimio.
Make sure the mic is on.
Morning again. My name is Amina Chala, CC for Lands, Energy, Urban and Housing Development, County Government of Marsabit. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ambaro Abdullah Ali, the CC for Education, Skill Development, Youth and Sports, Marsabit County.
Good morning. I'm Godfrey Godana, Principal Administrative Secretary, Office of the Governor, Marsabit.
Good morning. I'm Fabina Rumbekula, Chief Officer, Fisheries, Marsabit County.
Good morning. I'm Kabale Adibulbul, Chief Officer for Education, Marsabit County.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Hussein, Assistant Director, Accounting Services.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Simon Hobes, Director, Internal Audit. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Galagalo, Director, Human Resource.
Good morning, everyone. I'm CPA Bonaya Dotisora, Deputy Director, Accounting Service, County Government of Marsabit.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Charles Gidu, Deputy Director, Public Works.
Good morning, everyone. Francis Kamendi, Director, Supply Chain.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Safia Abduba, Deputy Director, Supply Chain Management.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Abdikadir Suleiman, the Head of Liaison for Marsabit County.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sam Galgalo, Accountant, Marsabit County.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Abdurrahman Mohamed Somo, Accountant, Marsabit County.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Abdi Mohamed, Accountant on Marsabit County.
Does that mark the end of introduction of the team?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, that marks the end, but I will wish to register that.
No, I think let's just do the introductions first. We go through the next order before you make any further comments. This point was just for introduction.
It's actually not a comment. It's about introductions. There's a member who's not here. I wanted to register that.
No. We are dealing with members who are here. We are only introducing members who are here. If there's any member who's not here and who should be here and you need to explain,
yes,
we'll do it after the administration of oath.
Okay.
Next order will be adoption of agenda, and honorable senators, our agenda is as stated before us. Could I get a proposal?
Point of order, Chair.
Yes, Senator Nyonka.
I've just noticed there's a new member who has just walked in and she hasn't been introduced. I don't know whether she's at the right place or she's...
So, Sergeant at Arms, find out whether she's here for Marsabit or she's here for Safari Rally as we do the adoption of agenda. Just find out whether she's supposed to be here.
Yeah, she's from Marsabit.
She's from Marsabit. Okay. Members, why don't we adopt the agenda, then we can come back to her.
Chair, I propose.
Thank you, Senator Sifuna.
Chair, second.
Thank you, Senator Onyonka. Could we get that member, because so far you're a stranger, could we find out who that stranger is?
Good afternoon. Good morning, sorry. I am called Judith Hawor Okelo. I am Supply Chain Management Officer, County Government of Marsabit.
Okay. Now we can proceed to administration of oath. The clerk of the Senate will guide the governor.
I, Mohammed Ali, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before this committee in respect of the matters before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Next will be your tabling of your management responses.
Mr. Chairman, I hereby table the following documents before the committee: management responses and accompanying annexures for the County Executive of Marsabit for the financial year 2020-2021.
Having been in Parliament, you know what tabling means. It means you have to physically put them on the table. So where's your? We want to see that full pack.
Right. It's here. Yeah. Oh. Mr. Chairman, here it is.
No, hand it over. I think there's a reason why we are saying that. Okay. Clerk, you cannot take until it is handed over to you.
Okay. Here you are.
That's about 6 reams of paper. That is what we want to demonstrate. Okay, fine. We go to the Auditor General. Those 6 reams of paper, Auditor General, have you received them? Have you scrutinized them? Are you in a position to prosecute matters before us today?
Chair, we received them and we verified them and drawn our conclusion on them. So we are ready to proceed, Chair.
Clerk of the Senate, could you confirm whether all that is before us was submitted and received in good time?
Yes, Chair, I do confirm that we received the documents on 21st and it is within the timelines that we had set.
Okay. So, members, we have 6 reams of paper to go through in the next 2 hours. So let's see how that is going to work out. Senator Sifuna.
Chair, it is always a red flag, and I'm sure the governor understands, having been a member of Parliament. When we appear here, we are not the ones conducting the audit. The audit is essentially a function of the Office of the Auditor General. I am very interested to know, Governor, why are these documents being presented to us today? Auditor General, we are talking about the financial year 2020-2021. This is 3 years ago. When were these documents sent to you?
Chair, they were presented to us on 20th of March.
Yes. This year?
Yes, Chair.
What is the explanation, Your Excellency? How can it take 3 years for you after an audit query is raised is then when you are presenting these documents? Should we run these documents through an authenticator first? Because we have a very big problem in this country where documents are actually manufactured to answer questions that have been raised by the Auditor General.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry to say that if I follow the way you, Honorable Senator, you know, you said I was a member of Parliament, and it's true. If we follow all the procedures, when something is uttered, that is not proper or not well-intentioned, that suggests an imputing, improper motive. We don't manufacture documents.
So, Governor,
for the record,
my question is, why would it take 3 years you have not delivered documents, but when you want to appear before this committee, suddenly those documents are presented? What stopped you from delivering these documents in 2022?
Mr. Chairman, if I'm not wrong, the documents were prepared in accordance with when the auditors required them, and the team will have to look at the schedules of the auditors also to go through them. You can't just submit when they are not available or something like that. So,
Governor, did you get the question, really? Maybe you need to reframe your question, Senator.
Governor, the audit happened in 2020.
Yeah.
Years ago.
We are in 2024.
Did it actually happen in 2020? I doubt.
You are doubting me. I'm a member of this committee. If you are looking at a financial year of 2020-2021,
I can be briefed on the specific dates.
Order, Governor. If we are going to proceed in an orderly fashion, allow the Senator to frame his question, and then I'll allow you to respond. Proceed, Senator Sifun.
Governor, the year that is under review is 1st of July 2020 to 30th June 2021. So perhaps I'll phrase or direct this question to the Auditor. Auditor General, for a report of July 2020 to June 2021, when was the audit conducted?
Thank you, Chair. This is a report of June 30th, June 2021. Normally they submit financial statement after 3 months. So we go in around September, October 2021.
That cannot be correct. The report is for that period between 2020 and 2021. So you went in which year? In which month?
2021.
September of 2021. Okay, Governor. From September of 2021 up to now.
Governor?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I was going to say, after the audit is done normally, there's a window when the teams agree. Any document missing or any further questions to be answered to the auditors. They schedule appropriate dates. I have not inquired why they have not, or which dates they really agreed, but I doubt if it was our making as a county, because there's a time schedule, timeline they agreed, and that is when the team submitted the documents.
Are you accusing the Auditor General for your adverse opinion?
I am not accusing the Auditor General, but I'm just saying I'm not sure the time schedules they agreed.
This was a very straightforward matter, but Governor, I think if you don't deal with the questions directly, you will lead us into a lot of unnecessary queries. The audit exercise is specified in the Public Audit Act of 2015. The timelines, the steps, and the procedures. There is an entry meeting, there is an exit meeting. There is no other meeting after the exit meeting. Which other appointment is this that you are alluding to?
The Chairman, it is not the first time I've appeared before this committee.
No, just
you know that. I respect this committee.
Can you deal with the issues? You know, we would be on issue number 2. The question we are asking is why we have 6 reams of paper before the Senate, while these 6 reams of paper were supposed to have been presented to the Auditor General at the time of audit.
Marsabet County has had several problems, as you very well know. We have had a lot of clashes. People were not working. Offices were being closed. In fact, sometime in 2021, towards the end and early 2022, Marsabet County was not functioning, Mr. Chairman. But that said,
but money was being spent.
It's back and sorry.
But money was being spent. There's evidence here that money was being spent. 8 billion shillings was being spent. So you proceed with your thesis.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I think what I want to say is good that we understand each other. If we are going to have a very harsh position from the beginning, right, we may not make good
point of order. I'm not going to direct us how to proceed. There was a very simple question by Senator Sifuna. It has not been addressed. What we have received are histrionics and diversionary statements. And I don't think we'll be able to proceed with the audit if we cannot get that answer, because we are dealing with an adverse audit opinion, which in the words of the Auditor General means that the financial statements do not present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the county executive of Marsabit. Out of 47 county executives in that financial year, I think only about 6 county executives had an adverse opinion. And we take great interest in those 6. So just deal with the question framed by Senator Sifuna without diversionary statements.
Yeah, can I add?
Senator Dulo?
Yeah, maybe for you, Governor, when you have an adverse opinion, it majorly touches on the production of the documents. So I think that is maybe where there's a problem, and that is why members are asking why the documents were not there at the initial stage. I think I just wanted to add that bit.
Okay, Chair, just 1 minute before you go back to the Governor. Okay, you see, Your Excellency, the point I'm demonstrating here, it's a very basic point.
Yeah.
The document you have presented, for instance, is an LPO here. This LPO is dated 2020. My question is, this LPO was there in the county.
Why wasn't it?
Your position is that because there were upheavals I don't know if there were floods. I don't know whatever it was. That explanation is what you're supposed to give the committee, because it cannot be the job of the Senate to be seeing these documents now. Chair, some of these documents are not even remotely legible. We are not going to sit here to do something that should have been done before. Your Excellency, I am also an accounting officer at ODM. I am audited. I have had 15 straight clean audit reports. We know the audit process. If there is a document that has not been presented, you are asked within a matter of weeks to present the document. It is not fair for you to come with documents 3 years down the line and then you want to claim that we are being harsh. Is it really fair?
Thank you very much, Senator. I think what I want to say, Chairman, is that first of all, the issue about the adverse. I am equally very disappointed with my team, and we've talked about it at length. I have not taken it lightly. But that aside, as to why the documents were delayed, my understanding was when the team conducts, the auditors conduct their audit, and some things are not available, they will normally request the county team to provide those documentation at a given time. I did not ask this question to the team because I didn't know that I'm required to answer that. However, that period, we had a lot of problems in the county. Many times, offices get closed. So, and this is a national news, which everybody knows. We had a lot of chaos. The county assembly was not functioning. My office was not functioning sometimes, most of the time in 2021. So I agree that it has taken a lot of time, but it was not out of our making, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Onyonka.
Your Excellency, Governor, I would like to inform you that before we come and sit here, we always go through these reports. We've been doing it since 7 o'clock in the morning. And the question we are asking you was not asked to you. Initially, it was asked to the Auditor General. So let me ask the Auditor General to tell you what they told us. Are you with me? Yes, AOG, can you tell us why these documents came in late?
Chair, the team, during the time of audit, the documents were not presented to us for audit verification, but from 20th March this year, the documents were submitted to us.
So naturally, what assumption would you make as an officer who's doing an audit? On a fair scale, what would you assume is the reason why the documents were delayed to be brought? Was it because of sloppiness? Was it because there was no communication? Was it because there was no information on the management meeting that you held the first time and the exit meetings? Those issues were never discussed. Or did you discuss and the document didn't appear until March?
Yeah, sometimes one of the assumptions we make is that probably when they receive a letter from the Senate, they take it more seriously than when we are demanding for the same.
How many meetings did you arrange, exit meetings? And you need to be coming with that correspondence before us. Because Auditor General, if indeed, Chair, if indeed this Appendix 1.1, this is how thick Appendix 1.1 is responding to a single query of 9 million shillings. As a senator, am I really expected to go through these documents to see that that answer has been satisfactorily responded to? This is 2 reams of paper times all these copies, when they would have just given you the original documents. Can you give us a schedule of the meetings you had with regard to this particular year? How many exit meetings do you have?
For this particular year we are discussing?
Yes.
Chair, like in any other audit, we have the entry meeting, then we have the exit meeting. But in between, as the issues arise, we send what we call an audit query. That is, as the team gets the issues, they submit audit query in written form to tell them the issues that require to be addressed.
Yeah, so the governor is saying he has not asked his team.
Yes.
So we will leave him out, at least for you.
Yes.
Because you are the counterpart, you are the other party in this discussion.
Yes.
How many meetings have you scheduled with or how many times have you requested for these documents?
Before the report comes out, the requests are several, at the audit query level, at the management letter level, at the draft audit
So you
report
confirm
level.
these
3.
issues were in the management letter?
Yes, Chair. They were there.
So
through you, Chair.
Just a minute on the point you had raised. So if you received these 6 reams on 20th of March, that was a Thursday. So between Thursday last week and Wednesday this week, you've been able to go through these 6 reams of paper.
Chair, we received them when there was some of my teams were in Marsabet undertaking a CDF audit. So we directed that they verify what they can on the ground. The rest we could do desktop verification, Chair.
How many physical meetings have you had with the team from Marsabit with regards to these supporting annexures?
With my team?
Yes, between your team and the team from Marsabit. Did you have any physical meeting, or you just, you know, when they submitted these, the written responses, did you have any physical meeting to go through the responses before today?
Yeah, they had a meeting with my team that was on the ground, Chair.
How many?
One.
Just one meeting?
Yes.
Auditor, do you know if the documents that were presented in Marsabit were originals or the same copies that are before us? Were they originals?
Chair, I've not had my team raise issues that they were not original, but I needed to confirm that before I get back to you.
There's a reason I'm asking that question. Were they originals or were they these same copies before me? Because I want you to read a document for me here, if you can read it.
Chair, I need to confirm from my team if what they saw was actually original.
Senator Sifuna, are you...
Chair, I'm a bit concerned because if the Auditor General got the very same documents we have, there is no way you can tell me you read these documents. The documents themselves are not legible. Governor, this is your own bundle. Unfortunately, you didn't write page numbers. I would have referred you to the document before me, but the clerk can bring you this document. You tell me if you can read anything from the document.
Mr. Chairman, the originals are available and can be tabled if they are not legible. I'm sorry.
Let's take the page to
let me, as that happens, let me allow Senator Cherargei and Senator Chute to go on record.
Good morning. My name is Mohammed Said Chute, Senator from Marsabet, friend of this committee.
Okay, please make sure Senator Chute has the 6 reams of annexures also.
Chair, good morning. Cherargei Kiprotich is my name, the vice chairperson of this committee. Chair, I think the tradition of this committee has been, if the auditor has not verified and there is late submission of documentation, we are wasting time. We should adjourn and do other things and give the client time to look at. Because in as much as we go, the eye that normally gives us opportunities is the Office of the Auditor General. And Governor and your team, this should be your last. But the law says, having been the end of an audit progress or audit process is in Senate or in Parliament, having considered your mitigation. So I don't think, because it looks like the auditor has not gone through, and I can see it's humongous bundles of reams, and yet, you know, and I know Senator Sifuna was trying to find out, when you have cited the original, you say, I certify as the true copy of original. So if original document has not been cited, it can be easily cooked or manipulated. So, Chair, I think the more we go into it, the more it does not make sense. because as they say, other things can lie but numbers. So I think, Chair, as the tradition and president of this committee, you and me and Senator Dulo, we have sat in this committee for almost a decade now, and tradition establishes a parliament, and the governor is a former parliamentarian. So it's better we give time to the auditor and these other gentlemen to look at it, and then we come back. We are always available when need be, even when during recess. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Senator Cherargei. Senator Sifuna, what were you trying to demonstrate?
I wanted the governor to confirm whether he can read anything on that document, because it's what he has submitted to me. Personally, I cannot see what that document is about.
Mr. Chairman, I was saying the original is available and it can be availed.
Of what use will that be to the committee now that it is part of the bundle? Because I'm sure you brought this for us to consider your responses. So if they are ineligible, if they are not legible, how do you?
It's unfortunate, Mr. Chairman. The documents, as you've said already, are many, and human error like this can happen, and I apologize for that.
So, Governor, back to my contention when we began, was this is a process of verification of documents. Now that you have given me a document I can't read, can we go back to that conversation about why those original documents were not presented to the...
Mr. Chairman, you know, it's a process. When the auditors finish their work, there is management response. We give management response. This other one now, after a follow-up query like this is the only forum where these documents will be.
That is a negative. No, point of order, Chair.
Senator Sifuna, that cannot be. I think I heard you talk of objective facts. That cannot be an objective.
Let me just finish, Chair. We asked you for documents. You said there have been all these issues in Marsabet. Then you bring me a document I cannot read. Are you still going to accuse me of imputing ill motive? If I say that you did not want me to see what is written on this document, because you have presented a document I cannot read.
Sir Chairman,
after 3 years.
Out of all the many documents, this is one page, and maybe so
we remove this one?
No, it's unfortunate. I have already gone on record and apologized for the unfortunate error. Unfortunately, you cannot dismiss all my work just because of one page, Mr. Chairman.
Your Excellency, you can't decide that for us. Okay. You know the standing orders.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Now, we appear to have a county entity that does not understand the Public Audit Act. And we must dispel this notion that after the audit, there is another window or another meeting where the governor and the auditor general are supposed to discuss issues. And Patrick, I want you to, because part of the reasons why we have these sessions is not just to be adversaries, but also to be advisors. I've heard the governor repeatedly say that after the audit, there was supposed to be another meeting. We must make that very clear, that there is no other meeting under a tree between an auditor and a governor, having been given 1 month to, not even 1 month, having been given 3 months. You are given 3 months to prepare your financial statements from 30th of June all the way to 30th of September. Is that true? There seems to be, because Marsabet, you must operate under the same PFM Act, under the same Public Audit Act. OAG, can you clearly lay out those steps so that whatever the governor is saying, when we say it cannot go on record, it is on the basis of the law?
Chair, as he does that, you will allow me to pluck 3 more pages so that the governor does not accuse me of things. This is another page from your document, Governor. This is the second one. I want to do another one. These are documents you presented before me this morning. This is another one. In all honesty before God, you have taken an oath. What am I supposed to make of this? This is just a sample from one of these bundles. You put these things before us to read them. All these documents are from your office, Governor. It is not me.
Order, Governor. Senator Sifuna is making a point, and you do not have to respond to every point. Otherwise, we will not make progress. And I think you must take this as an exercise where we are advising you. You cannot claim to be an exemplary student because you have come here with an adverse opinion. So there is some education that has to be done. despite your parliamentary experience, despite your professional experience, but not all of us can be experts in the Public Audit Act and the processes. So I want you to be humble enough to listen to these senators, to listen to the OAG, and see what is expected of you, because that will save you in future from getting an adverse opinion. And an adverse opinion is not just an adverse opinion. It means loss of funds. They are conditional grants which you cannot get if you have an adverse opinion. And we'll be demonstrating to you as we go ahead that because of this opinion, the people of Marsabit have lost millions in form of Kenya Revolution Support Program. So it is not a casual thing. So I want you to relax, take a deep breath, and be ready to learn from the Senate and the OAG. It might help you in future. We are not in a defense and offense situation. Senator Dulo, before I ask the Auditor General to outline the audit process, and then we see whether we can make progress.
I just wanted to clarify from OAG whether they have managed to go through all these documents before presented to us.
I had asked that question earlier, and Meshach, what did you answer?
In my briefs, I said that certain issues need physical.
Is it only projects, Chair, or the other documentation that are within the audit?
Actually, it touched on several issues, not just projects.
So does that mean you are not ready to proceed, or you are ready to proceed? Because you cannot be half-half.
We are ready to proceed because on quite a number of issues, we were able to draw conclusion. Yes.
Chair, maybe looking, you know, the people who give us the third eye, and I want to say, and we know, Governor, the reason you are here, I want to repeat, is this is the final process where it will be considered and audited. If the Auditor General has not gone through the entire documentation, the entire physical verification as per the Public Audit Act, Chair, Marsabit is one of the counties among 47. You know, he who comes to equity, equity prevails in equals. So what happened, every executive or county assembly that has appeared before us, Chair, has always come when the Auditor General has verified documentation, has even cited some of the projects, has even gone through and even made the timeline of Parliament has been provided. In this case, the auditor is handicapped because now we'll be wasting the Senate and Parliament resources if we will be saying now audit query number 50, the auditor says, please put aside, I will need go back to Marsabit to cross-check. We'll be doing a half-baked exercise, Chair. So I think what we can do is let us, so that we, and you know when we are doing a report, we don't do a report that is half-half. When we are doing a report for Marsabit, for Isiolo, for Nandi, for Nairobi, we must do it in completion. We cannot go back to the plenary and tell the Senate, you know, when Meshach OAG came on audit query 1, he said he needed 90 days to go and cross-check. So we did audit query number 7 and number 8. So in all fairness, so that all counties, because these things are broadcast live and all counties have appeared here, let us, Chair, as a committee, maybe we do what we call a small recess and agree, because, you know, my worry is the precedent and tradition. And somebody like Onyonga, who is senior, and Dulo, know that if we start this, another county like Bomet will come and say, you know, in Marsabit, when the auditor said they had not considered audit query number 5, you allowed the executive to proceed. So we are going to quote that same precedent to proceed in Bomet, for example. So we need to be precise and specific so that we don't build contradicting precedents. And in my own opinion, if there is no, because this is the last resort of the audit process, and also to be fair to Marsabit County, is that when they come, they now has been verified, we look at their documentation, we look at their response, their mitigation, then we see when we are report writing. Because we can hurry, and then when we table a report at the Senate, we say in audit 1, 2, 3, the auditor did not verify, and therefore we request that the Senate adopts report with far-reaching consequences that might affect even the governor and other senior county officials who participate in the auditing process. So in my own opinion, let us do the normally we do with other counties. We have done this before and we'll always be there. Even if the governor will tell us in 2-3 days by Tuesday he wants to come back when he's ready, we'll always be available, Chair, when and on call, because we are doing this duty. We want to protect the law and the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. So we cannot allow ourselves to in a situation where you want to have your cake and eat it at the expense of the parliamentary procedures, Chair. So I think let us give time to OAG to go and do their work, finish, and then come back, then we proceed.
Okay, thank you, Senator Chirage. Let's allow Senator Mofaya to go on record, then we come back to Senator.
Thank you, Chair. This is Senator Mwenda Gataya Mofaya, Tharaka County, member of this committee.
Welcome. We can allow Senator Mariam Omar first.
Chair, if I can recall, during briefing, I asked the same question of if the auditor has verified this document. And the response is he verified, and he sent auditors on the ground to see these documents, and they are verified. But the question is here, is why not to avail documents to the auditors? But when it comes to verifications, I think the auditor has clearly said this thing has been clarified, has verified, and it has been supported.
Thank you, Senator Mariam Omar. Yes, Senator Mofaya.
Is it possible for us, Chair, as a committee, we retreat for 30 minutes because this issue is contentious?
Okay, why don't we first canvass the issues that will need determination, then we see whether they are, because you know there are precedents which you can apply, and sometimes a retreat only occurs when there's an unprecedented situation. I don't think what is before us is unprecedented so far.
Chair,
Senator
in support of Senator Mofaya, let's have about 10 minutes retreat, kindly.
Chair,
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Point of order, Chair.
Point of order.
Senator Sifuna?
I don't know what the retreat is supposed to resolve.
I have a question for 5 minutes.
This is a straightforward matter. The committee has dealt with issues like this before. I don't think we need to retreat anywhere. We will resolve whatever question is to be resolved here.
Yeah, I think even the application of Standing Order number 1 is only where there are no provisions and precedents. Members, I don't think we are facing very challenging issues that might prevent us from making a decision. And sometimes when you make decisions in camera, the entire team that has come from Marsabet might not benefit from our reasoning. And that's why sometimes it's good to have this very open conversation so that when we come to a conclusion, it is a reasoned conclusion. I don't want anyone to go and say that Senator Chute influenced us when we went in camera, or Senator Sifuna influenced us when we went in camera. Let's hear from Senator Nyoka, and then we can take a view on how to proceed.
Your Excellency, I want you to look at the Auditor General's report. Do you have it there on your table? The Auditor General's report. You have it. Go to page 2. You've seen it?
Yes.
Paragraph 1.8.
Paragraph 1.8.
Yes. The conclusion down there. Consequently, the accuracy, page 2 on the OAG report. There's a small point I want you to see where we are. Consequently, the accuracy and completement of the financial statement for the year that cannot be confirmed. Why? There were no documents. Go to page 3, V, unexplained variance of bank accounts. Are you with me? It's on page 3, the third paragraph. Consequently,
they don't seem to be on the same page, Senator.
The Auditor General's report. The Auditor General's report.
I think he's. Just get him the right.
Sorry, give me the right
document.
one. Yeah.
I think as there's so much paper in front of us that it's very difficult to keep track. Senator Nyoka, maybe now that you have the updated report.
Yes, proceed.
There are two things here. One is a preliminary matter raised by Senator Cherargei and Senator Mofaya on how to proceed. In my experience as chair, I have hesitated to make decisions in camera, and that is why the media is here, and that is why we have these cameras here, because we want the people of Marsabit to understand our reasoning and the background of the decisions that we make. So there's that preliminary matter, which I'll give a proposal, not as a directive, but for the consideration of the committee. There is also the audit process, because that's where we started from, why we are having 6 reams of paper today, and whether the Auditor General has had time to go through and satisfy themselves. But I said that at this point, let's take an advisory stance. Auditor General, can you tell the County Executive of Marsabit what the audit process is and what their responsibility is and what it means when you have an adverse opinion and how that can be cured, if any? Just take some 2-3 minutes on that.
Thank you, Chair. On the audit process, before we go to the field, there's that planning which we do, identifying the key areas, the high-risk areas. Then let me focus on the field. We get to the field. There's that audit entry meeting where we sit with the management to brief them on everything that we will need, the documents that we will require, areas that we will visit, projects that we will need to examine. Then in the course of the audit, still in the field, as teams raise issue, there's an audit query raised to them to address before the conclusion of the audit. Then at the conclusion of that field work, the audit team again meet with the client in what is called exit meeting, where we now brief them that we came across these issues and you will have to see them in the management letter. Then after that, we follow them with the management letter in writing. We give them days to respond, 2 weeks to respond. Then after that, we verify their response. Whatever is not adequately responded to again we write to them a draft audit report informing them that you have a window of 3 to 5 days to respond to these issues. Otherwise, you will find them in the audit certificate. So if they don't address that, then we issue the audit certificate. But again, let me observe here that Marsabit has really improved as far as audit is concerned of late. Initially, the response was poor, because I can remember even as recently as 30th June 2022, they didn't respond to my draft audit report. Probably that explains why most documents are coming at the Senate level. But in 2023, the response was quite good. They were able to respond to my draft audit report. So they are actually appreciating audit a bit slowly.
Let's not forget that what we are doing today is querying the 7.6 billion that was spent in Marsabit and the 8.2 billion that was received in Marsabit. Basically 8.2 billion for that financial year. So those subsequent improvements, we shall deal with them when we come to them. Governor, I hope it has been made clear what that process is. Other governors attend the entry meeting and they attend the exit meeting. I don't know whether you have made it a habit to attend the entry meeting of audit and the exit meeting of audit. Is it that you feel it's beneath you because you still have to come to the Senate to address a report that is a product of that exercise? Is there a commitment that you would wish to make going forward in terms of being hands-on on this?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I respect all government entities and especially so the audit process. Unfortunately, when they were there in this particular exercise, I had other engagements here in Nairobi. Otherwise, I don't, disrespect the process. But for your assurance, I want to commit that I'll ensure I will be part of the audit process from the beginning to the end. And by the way, about the adverse opinion, I've already taken administrative action, and that I'll be able to demonstrate given the opportunity, Mr. Chairman.
So what we have before us is a report that is saying that 8.2 billion in Marsabet cannot be accounted for. So we need to find out whether it was stolen or Onyonka, if it can't be accounted for, what is a likely consequence beside theft?
It's in a bank somewhere, in somebody's private bank account.
Okay, back to the other preliminary matter that Senator Mofa and Senator Cherargei had raised. I want to persuade you that owing to first the volume of records before us, that we deal with the first 2 or 3 issues, and perhaps we'll demonstrate the need to go with what Senator Cherargei has already put on the table. But I didn't want us to reach that conclusion until we have tested the responses and the issues raised by the Auditor General. There's been a brief that the Auditor General has done. Already the senators have put a lot of queries on the records that are before us. That we could just, so that even if it gets to the point where we are terminating, assuming that is the consequence, they know the reasons why the Senate has sent them back home, if we are to send them back home. But if we are to test 1 or 2 and we realize that after all the records are there, then we shall proceed until conclusion. Senators, would you be convinced that we test the issues before us before taking a decision on timeout?
Chair, I think there is a principle of double jeopardy. Since we have said, we would call this one incomplete because the auditors have not gone through. So we don't want to subject the client into principle of double jeopardy, because if the response in query 1, because this one audit query might interlink with another audit query. Sometimes because it's cross-cutting in years, we have seen in years where some of the audit queries are cross-cutting. So it will be a principle, because we'll be subjecting them to the same process, which will not make any sense. Because the validity and veracity and authenticity of document will be in question as long as the auditor has not given clean bill of health. So, Chair, considering today is a last day before a short recess, we have division in the afternoon, members have other committees, it will not make sense to subject the client to the same principle of double jeopardy. Allow the client, since we have agreed, and this is in good faith, allow himself and the team to reorganize themselves, the Auditor General to have time. Will always be available, because I want us also to be the fair the client, even in our report writing, so that when we are tabling, the client has that opportunity to give us elaborate mitigation responses. Because if we say we can do audit query number 5, we do it, and then we say it is incomplete or what have you, and then now next time when they come, we'll say we had closed audit query number 5. So, and yet audit query number 5, the client does not have sufficient time to give a response. So in my all honest opinion, so that we don't subject the client to the same process twice, we allow that period, let them have a chance, because Parliament is the last place in the audit process where they can mitigate the raising of audit queries that had been provided. So, Chair, we should just allow a adjourn there, allow the client to put the house in order, and then come back. I know I have had a snippet by OAG that things in the next financial years look like they have improved. So it looks like this work in progress. So, Chair, I think let's allow us to adjourn at that point. The client has gotten the necessary directions and engagement or deliberations, then we can move to other things, because now this rims that is there, Chair, I will not find it comfortable to proceed. So let's allow the auditor, even auditor will have time to travel back to their hub and be on it by afternoon. Meshach, unless you still want to do Easter shoppings in Nairobi, but you should be back in office. Say that when we need you, you are available.
Yes, Chair.
Okay, Senator Mariam Omar.
Chair, I have different opinion, because I think Vice Chair, he has not attended the briefing. And auditor say he has verified the documents. But I go with your opinion that we can maybe tackle a query, maybe to give an evidence that we cannot proceed more. But on that ground, we can say no, we cannot proceed more than this. But on the ground of the Vice Chair, Cherage, I disagree, Chair.
Okay, so you have a contrary view, Senator Richard Onyonka?
Chair, the point I wanted to make earlier on, Governor, I finally got the list of the Auditor General's report on 2021 for the year Marsabet, the year ended 2021. You have it there?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to make a very special request. Please go to page 2. Yes.
We deal with the one.
Page 2 of the audited reports of the Marsabet, the year 2021.
2021.
Yes. If you go to page 2. Huh?
Yes.
Yes, the OAG report.
Yes.
The reason why, Your Excellency, we are very worried about the issue of documents. If you look at that paragraph after 1.1, variances between cash book and financial statements. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Look at what the auditor said. The cash and cash equivalence balance of 834 million as at 30th June 2021 could not be confirmed. You see that?
Yeah.
Go to page 3. At the top paragraph, he says the accuracy, completeness, and validity of the balance of 53 million as of 30th June could not be confirmed.
Yeah.
Come to the next one, which is in the middle, above 4.2.
Yeah.
He says the accuracy, the same thing. So how do I prove the accuracy? I want the documents.
Yeah.
Then these documents came a week ago. Look at, I don't think, I can tell you, Governor, even if you paid me to go and read this thing, I can't read it for the next 1 month.
Chair.
So I am making a request that for me, Chair, I totally agree with what Honorable Chirargea said. Let the Auditor General and us have an opportunity to look through this and we can come back and agree to sort it out.
Could I hear Senator Dulo? I'll ask Senator Chute to have a final word on this. Senator Dulo, Senator Mofaya.
Personally, I feel we still have a bit of time. We have looked through, there are some issues that are resolved. And I think because of, in the interest of time, we can look at the issues that are resolved so that we can actually reduce the numbers for the remainder of 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, just to look through and also give guidance on the county. I feel we can proceed with those that are resolved, then we can tackle the rest with the projects as auditors can have more time to look at it. I thank you.
Senator Mofaya.
Chair, there is enough proof that the auditor is the prosecutor of this committee. And I agree with Senator Onyonka and Senator Chalagai that there's nothing much you can do for now. We need to do a comprehensive report. We can't have a report which is half-baked. So I think, Chair, we have all the time. Next week we are here. We can always give the governor and his team maybe the second bite to come and before us. I don't think whether it's important for us to interrogate something which is not very clear for us.
Okay, Senator.
Chair, maybe before Nani comes.
Okay, make a brief comment so that when Senator Chute gives his view, then we can now take a position and wait forward. Senator
In fact, the accuracy and completeness in a process. I know there are people who look at a glass as half empty or a half full. But in accounting, it does not operate that way. When you look at the accuracy and the response and that has been given, Chair, it doesn't make sense. I don't want us to come in the next sitting. We come to the same place again. And we are not saying we are condemning the county. What you are just saying is to give them time for fair hearing. That is my only argument. When you look even under the Constitution emphasizes on principle of natural justice and fair hearing. I want the governor, when he comes, all the members are comfortable, OAG is comfortable. When he gives his answers, it becomes easy for us to proceed. So, Chair, I request that let the meeting adjourn at that time, at this particular time. Then, Chair, we give a chance to Governor even to have time to travel back, organize himself, and then come back. We'll always be here.
Okay, let me hear from Senator Chute.
Chair, I think if the governor is comfortable to proceed, I don't have any objection.
Governor, can you go on record? You have heard the sentiments of my colleagues. I am being called upon as chair to make a ruling on
Mr.
whether
Chairman,
to proceed or not.
Yeah,
What do you have to say?
Mr. Chairman, I plead with the committee that we proceed because, Mr. Chairman, don't get scared with or we should not worry about. I have extracted, or my team has extracted, all the questions from the Auditor General are here. All our answers are here. That's simple. These are simply for reference. Okay? And the issues Senator Onyonka highlighted, if he will have listened to my answers.
Point of order, Chair, can the Governor repeat that part that he says these are simply for reference?
No, I'm saying, Senator.
Because, Governor, if you are giving a response and you quote an annex, it is an answer.
Yeah, it's an answer.
Yeah, so you
What I
cannot
meant
say
is-
an answer is correct, but reference is just for the sake.
No, sorry, I
Yes,
didn't mean to say that. I meant we don't have to go through all the volumes. It is the lead question that will help us. Where are the substantive or evidence of what we are talking about? This is what I meant. So in a nutshell, Mr. Chairman, I am comfortable to proceed with the process.
Honorable members,
You know, I have a problem with the answer of Governor. He says we must not go through the entire volume. Then why are we here?
Chair, can I just give a rider? Yes. Governor, in this committee, we read documents. So what we will do, if it is your intention to proceed, we will proceed.
It's okay.
And we will go page by page.
It's all right.
That is there's a reason why you put these documents before this committee.
It's all right.
So how we deal with the evidence you've presented to us is really up to us. But Chair, I'm in agreement. Let's continue. And when we get to those pages that have issues, you will know what to say.
Honorable members, what we are dealing with is 8 billion of public resources that cannot be accounted for in Marsabit County. It is not any other matter beside that. There is 8 billion Kenya shillings before us. That money came from taxpayers. It was sent to Marsabit County. The Auditor General tells us that the financial statements do not present fairly in all material respects. In all material respects, the financial position of the County Executive of Marsabit as at that financial year. That is a matter of great concern. And that is the reason why the Senate exists, why this committee exists, to ensure that the money that we send to counties is accounted for. The Division of Revenue Bill was read a first time in the Senate yesterday. We will be reading it a second time today. Governors want us to send about 450 billion to counties, over and above the 391 billion the national government is proposing. But when Marsabit cannot account for 8 billion Kenya shillings, then it pulls the rug from our feet, because our friends in the National Assembly who have proposed 391 billion will ask us, why do you want us to send more money if 8 billion that was sent to Marsabit could not be accounted for? So it is not a light matter that we are dealing with here. We are talking actual cash that has come from the pockets of Mwananchi, sent to Marsabit, and the Auditor General says he has no idea how that money has been spent. Honorable members, if the governor gets away, he will probably come back next time with a similar set of documents, infuriate the committee, and he will get away, and it will be over and over, and will not be brought to account. I want to convince members, let us hold this governor to account today. He was a governor who was in office in that financial year. He must tell us where that 8 billion shillings is. If it is not stolen, then he must demonstrate where that money has been put for the benefit of the public. And I want to propose, members, that we will go issue by issue in our standard format. If we get to a point where we realize that the 6 reams of paper that have been brought here have just been brought to confuse and amaze and befuddle the committee, then as a chairman, I will terminate the proceedings and we shall adjourn and set another date for a proper substantive committee hearing. So members, having listened to the various concerns, I want to propose that we go issue by issue. It might also be a good example for the team that has accompanied the governor to learn a few things on the expectation. Because some governors tell their staff that, don't worry, I'm going to deal with the Senate. Their fellow politicians, I'm going to talk to them. We want the staff that has come here to know that they also have a responsibility. If we agree on that, the first person that we must call to order is a professional who prepared these financial statements. Governor is Mr. Shale Ibrahim Shale, still in the county government.
Mr. Chairman, Ibrahim Shale Ibrahim is still in the county, but remember I said I took administrative action following even this report. So he's not in the core department of finance.
What department is he in?
He's still in general in finance, but I have seconded him to
what is his title? What is his title?
His title is Director Revenue.
So the guy who does a financial statement with an adverse opinion, what you do is to send him to revenue.
Sorry?
Director Revenue. So you made him Director Revenue. After getting a diverse opinion on his financial statements.
Yes, because for now, I thought he will be able to handle that docket, but he was in the accounting department. He was the director accounting when this report was being made.
He's the one who prepared this report.
Yes.
And this report, the Auditor General says, falls far short of the professional expectation and professional standards. It is our position, and we have pronounced ourselves on this, that any member of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya, in this case, Shale Ibrahim Shale, member number 11643. Number one, we are going to refer him to the professional body for disciplinary action. And number two, we are likely to reach the conclusion that he's unfit to hold public office. Because any accountant, any professional who cannot prepare a proper financial statement has no business being paid by public resources to continue stealing. Governor, I take note that perhaps you are also a member of a professional body as a quantity surveyor, and you know what you are bound to. The persons who are in HR, they know what they are bound to. That's a regulated profession. The persons in procurement, it's a regulated profession. You know what you're bound to. So I think even as you go into the report, it is our position that what you are calling an administrative action is a slap on the wrist. Shale Ibrahim Shale, having prepared financial statements with an adverse opinion, must be disciplined by the professional body, and we also will take a motion to the House to declare him unfit to hold public office. With that, I want to ask the Auditor General, having agreed that we proceed, Auditor General, give us your opinion, explain that opinion, and then go to the basis of the opinion.
Thank you, Chair. On the report of the Auditor General on County Executive of Marsabet for the year ended 30th June 2021, the County Executive was given an adverse opinion, which is given when the financial statements prepared do not agree with the underlying records. They're completely different. The underlying books of accounts and the records available, there's no agreement. That's when we give that adverse opinion.
And that was a question mark on how much money money did Marsabet receive, so that it does not sound like the chairman is cooking up numbers. What was the total receipts for that financial year? In the statement of receipts and payments?
Yes. Chair, the total received in the exchequer for the 2020-2021 was 7,355,536,600 shillings. Chair.
Total gross receipts?
Gross. Gross receipts, Chair, was 8,224,789,009 shillings, Chair.
So you could not confirm whether the entire amount, 8 billion, was used in line with the law?
Yes, Chair.
What is the implication of an adverse opinion? And we have seen this with other counties. There is a conditional grant called Kenya Devolution Support Program. How much money did Marsabet get in this financial year? Kenya Devolution Support Program. Governor, can you tell us how much you got as KDSP in the 2020-2021 financial year?
We have, if you allow, Chairman, we can refer and check the...
It's in your financial statements. I'm seeing it. I just want you to read it.
Okay. It's being checked, Mr. Chairman.
It's in the notes to the financial statements, note number 2 on page 31 of the financial statements.
Where is it? KDSP. Yeah, 161 million, Mr. Chairman.
161 million?
Yeah.
524,000?
Yeah.
635?
Yeah.
Now, can you continue getting this money if you have an adverse opinion from your knowledge of that conditional grant?
No, Mr. Chairman.
So it means that this opinion has led to the loss of 161 million to the people of Marsabet.
Still, Mr. Chairman, in that particular year, we had that problem, and I told you I've taken action. But by the way,
Governor, we are just laying facts because we must establish a link between this opinion and the money that comes to Marsabet. Is it a fact that with an adverse opinion, you would not continue getting the 161 million?
Correct.
And you see, that's why I didn't want to make any decisions in camera, because I want your officers to know that whenever they make errors of omission or commission, they are not just breaching the law, but they are also costing the people of Marsabet money. If you had 161 million, Governor, wouldn't you do a lot of things with that?
Yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Chairman, but kindly if you can hear me out also. Because there's something that I needed to explain. In that particular year, we had that problem. But please note, even before, it was as a result of improvement by our team that we qualified to get that 161 million. Right? But unfortunately, in this particular year, as you rightly observed, something has happened. And I've said, I've taken some action.
I was waiting for your explanation. I'm still not getting...
No, I'm trying to tell you...
Because the fact is, you lost 161 million because of the opinion.
I'm only trying to say it is true, but we made effort previously. We had, and when we came in as a county, we gradually, the way the auditor has been saying, we've been gradually improving in this department. The 161 you have noted was as a result of improvement over the previous system, or rather accounting procedure that we did.
So when you lose it, it should not be an issue.
It is a big issue, and that is why I took administrative action.
Remember, this is not free money. This is money that adds to the national debt stock. These conditional grants, you think it's free money coming from donors. That money is guaranteed by Treasury. Kenyans are repaying it. So I think we must illustrate the link between the audit opinion and loss of money. And I think going forward, we must also build a relationship between these opinions and the amount of money that county governments are getting. I do not think that Marsabet with an adverse opinion should get the same ratio and share as another county with an unqualified opinion.
Chair, I've heard the governor say there are some improvements. Are you on that program now?
Which program? The KDSP.
KDSP has I think that one has been concluded, but there is another phase of the same.
Are you going to qualify for that next phase?
Next phase. Remember, this is 2021.
I know exactly which year we are talking about. I'm asking you about now because you have spoken about the improvements you've made.
Yeah, improvement was made. Remember, I'm talking about what we have been progressively able to do. The time we got this 161, the years before, the situation was worse. And therefore, when our records show that we've made some improvements, that is when we got this 161.
Then where did the improvement stop? Because you got now an adverse opinion.
It is what we are addressing now, and if you listen to my answers to the auditor, some of them you will appreciate, Mr. Chairman.
You know, the objective of KDSP is to build capacity, and it's to build the capacity of your staff. In fact, it's almost a blank check for the county executive to define areas where there are gaps. And so when you absorb 161 million of KDSP, it should translate into improved capacity, improved efficiency, greater transparency, rather than the reverse. But I think we have made that illustration or the link between the opinion to the money that the people of Marsabet would have gotten. We'll go to the basis of the opinion, but I'll ask Senator Cherargei to make his comment.
Just on adverse opinion, you know, in private sector, when you get adverse opinion, you are supposed to be fired. I think in government agencies, when you get adverse opinion, you are rewarded. Who is this chief officer who did not have his PAC number? Where is he? Did the contract ended? Wario Jirmo Arsama, number one governor, and number two, this one on Wario Jirmo Arsama. Who is he and where is he? Number one. Number two, you can be noting down so that it is easy for you to follow up. Number two is on this adverse opinion, the financial statements we have seen. In fact, before we go to another question, there is basis for adverse opinion. You are saying there is improvement, Governor, and that loss of Kenya Devolution Support Program of 161 million because of these issues of accounting. When you say you are improving, are you admitting there were capacity issues in terms of that department that was supposed to do their job? Because, and then, in your answer, if you are admitting there were capacity challenges and there is improvement, can you provide the committee with that either through the County Public Service Board to show us if there was an accountant missing or you have hired another one, or people who did not have his PAC, people who are professionals are there now, so that when we are receiving your mitigating answers and basis for adverse opinion, we can understand you. Chair, that is my 3 questions.
Okay, Governor, please make very brief responses if you wish us to proceed, as you had stated earlier.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the issue Senator is referring to about improvement, I'm talking about over a period of years, how we got the 161 in the first place. We improved from, we had an adverse again in 2016, 2017. In 2018, 2019, we improved to an extent that we were given this opportunity to get that 161. That is what I meant. On this particular issue of 2021, of course, I have observed there was underperformance from the team, and I said I have taken administrative action, changed the office holders, and that is why the team before you today, most of them were or are not the ones who did this report at that time. Sorry, I lost the third.
Where is, when you say there is change, you know, Governor, I've heard you saying we have taken administrative action. Would you provide the evidence of the same number?
What I mean, yeah.
Number one, on whether you can provide evidence of administrative action. And then finally, this gentleman, Wario Jirma Asa, where is he?
Wario is here as Director of Budget, but that time he was the
Chief Officer.
He was acting Chief Officer.
But he has not indicated here. And you know the limitations of acting under the law.
Yeah.
When you are not substantively in office, you cannot make some decisions. So if he was acting and he ensured he will get adverse opinion, and you rewarded him as Director of Budget because of a very serious position, then that is not administrative action. It is administrative action on the opposite direction.
Yeah,
because how do you reward somebody who has performed badly? I thought he should even have been suspended, go through disciplinary procedures, because it's just a slap on the wrist chair. So this Director of Budget who was acting then, if in fact the governor, to be honest, because we want Kenyans to appreciate the role of devolution, and that is why you hear some people in some quarters saying we do away with devolution, because these are some of the things people are comfortable with. For example, this gentleman was acting. He went ahead and gave you adverse opinion. This should have been a reason why he should not be in the position he is now, because Director of Budget, he might ensure that there is under-absorption or budget is not properly prepared. What will you use and you already have budget? So, Chair, I think this administrative action by the governor, we must see it as a committee so that we understand what he means by saying administrative action. I think that would be a proper way to handle it. And give us evidence on how what we have done in this administrative action to Shale, Ibrahim Shale. Of course, we have recommended him to the necessary professional body. Even as here, we have our own professional body. If you do a misconduct, LSK will take action against you and they can withdraw your license.
Yeah, so as we proceed, I'm sure that we'll find cases where there are officers or players in the county that might require sanction, and I think we'll deal with those on a case-by-case basis. For those who are members of regulated professions, remember those professions are established by acts of parliament. The regulations for those professions are established by acts of parliament. We are parliament. We have the power to make reference to those societies to take disciplinary action. So we'll deal with members of regulated professions, the accountants, the procurement, the HR, but the other officers, we will call upon the governor's CEO to take measures that are proportional to the offences that they are alleged to have committed. Members, let's go to the report of the Auditor General. Let's now go to the basis of the adverse opinion, starting with issue number 1.1, variance between cash book and financial statements balances. Auditor General, you read your finding. Governor, you will respond.
Thank you, Chair. The basis for adverse opinion, cash and cash equivalents, paragraph 1.1, variance between cash book and financial statements balances. The statement of assets and liabilities, and as disclosed in note 21A to the financial statements, reflects 834,498 shillings in respect to cash and cash equivalents. Included in this amount are balances totaling 58,922,818 shillings relating to 7 bank accounts, which differ with their respective total cash book balances, resulting to an unexplained and unreconciled variance of 9,796,792 shillings. Under the circumstances, the cash and cash equivalents balance of 834,000,498 as at 30th June 2021 could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair.
Governor, please read your response in verbatim.
The management, Mr. Chairman, has reviewed the report and established that the updated cash books and bank reconciliation statements, which agrees with the reported balances in our financial statements for Marsabet Municipal Revenue Account, Marsabet County Operation Account, Marsabet County Local Revenue Account, and Food and Agriculture Organization Project Account are as attached. The variances noted in Marsabet District Health Account, Free Maternity Healthcare Services Account, Moyale Sub-County Health Account, Moyale Sub-County Referral Hospital were as a result of reconciling items. the reconciliation has been done and disclosure on reconciling items made. Mr. Chairman, refer to Appendix 1.1.
Now, Auditor General, you said 7 bank accounts. Are those 7 bank accounts named? Because as where we sit, you have mentioned 7 bank accounts. We don't know which bank accounts they are. It's a governor who's attempting to mention, and he's mentioned more than 10 accounts. So, because what we expect to see, Governor, and you will need to listen, 7 bank accounts were cited. And there are variances between the balances, cash book balances and bank account balances. So over and above this full big ream of paper, what you need to do to the Senate is list the 7 accounts. This is a cash book balance. This is a bank balance. This is the difference. And this is how it was reconciled. So I hope you are able to demonstrate that in your appendix, 1.1.
Chair, I want the governor to confirm to me, in your answer you have said the reconciliation has been done and disclosure of reconciling items made. When was the reconciliation done?
Okay, maybe take the questions, just take note. I started by saying what would have helped the committee, and that's why I wanted us to go through this process, so that even if you are to come back to the Senate again, you know how to present your evidence to the Senate. Yeah, so when was the reconciliation done? I'm asking for just a summation or a listing of the 7 accounts, the cash book balances, the bank account balances, the variances, and the action taken to close the variances, without going through 100 pages of paper. Senator Chirarke?
Chair, just a quick follow-up. This could not be confirmed. Governor, I expected in your answer you should have confirmed this 834,000,00498. Your answer does not come out. And then number 2, Auditor and Governor, the process of opening these 7 bank accounts under the PMF Act is very specific. I can see there is KCB Bank Limited. On these 7, as the chairs, Governor, can you name these 7 bank accounts and tell us whether the process of opening as the PMF Act has been followed? Because we have counties where people open commercial bank accounts, maybe to get interest or put a fixed deposit account and earn interest. In some of the banks, like I can see KCB Bank among others. So, Governor, can you name this bank account? And if possible, because they are saying 58,922,818 relating to 7 bank accounts. And these 7 bank accounts I've had, there is one for the hospital, among others, Marsabet Municipal Revenue Account, among others. And give us the justification as to why there is existence of 7 bank accounts. Because if we allow you to have 7 bank accounts, you can have 50 tomorrow, and it contravenes the public finance management, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, before Governor responds, Auditor, first tell us what were the 7 bank accounts that you cited?
Chair, the 7 bank accounts are Kenya Commercial Bank for local revenue, Marsabet branch, account number 1140751484, and the balance at 30th June 2021 was 48,841,439.
And
the second,
that was a balance on account, or that was a cash book balance, as per their records?
That was
is that credit?
The balance they were giving as per the financial statement.
As per the financial statement.
Is that credit?
Yes,
for
credit.
Million.
Okay.
Okay. So just on that. So that first account of KCB Marsabit, where in these supporting documents have you demonstrated that KCB Marsabit?
In fact, Chair, I was coming to that. That is why I was asking the governor to tell us when this reconciliation was done.
Because it would be easy if you just demonstrate to us that KCB Marsabit, this was a balance 48 million. It was reconcile and go to page XYZ. That's where the
Chair,
evidence is.
I can help him. The document is not paginated.
He might accuse you of introducing your own evidence.
It's this one, Chair.
Allow him to allow him to be the one to point us there. Governor?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's start with that first account, and maybe out of the 7, we can just do a sample of 3. No, we said we start with that one. Okay. We first see how that was treated.
This one.
We pick another one. Okay. So if you do a sample of 3 or 4, then we can now ask for the Auditor General's opinion.
Chair, writing also, if you go to 43, financial statement, financial statement 43, page 43. The account cash and cash balances, that is 21A, not 21A. Maybe we can, the auditor can highlight so that we can, it will be easy for us on that one. Because one of the one is saying 48 million balances is among the list.
Okay. Yeah. Kenya Commercial Bank Local Revenue Marsabet branch account. Yeah, I think we can see it on page 44. So, Governor, just help us understand how you dealt with that query by the Auditor General with respect to that first KCB local revenue account.
Mr. Chairman, if you see the annex under reference, page 6, what is it? Yeah. Appendix 1.1, after the first 5 copies, the 6th one, you will see bank reconciliation, Marsabet County KCB revenue collection account.
Just go slowly. Which page? And I think next time let your officers paginate every single annexure.
That is noted, Mr. Chairman. The seventh paper are the annexures.
I thought the 7th is reading payments.
Bank reconciliation. The next, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That is where the reconciliation has been done and is demonstrated, Mr. Chairman.
The Auditor General says that the balances relating to this account differs with the respective cash book balance. Auditor, just make it easy for us. You know, when you hear cash, we know this is money, the money that senators appropriated. My understanding is that in one record, you got 48 million. And in another record, you've got a different figure. So what was the cash book balance for this particular account? Is the 48 the cash book balance, or 48 is the actual reconciled balance?
Chair, the figure they were reflecting was the cash book balance.
So there was a variance between the cash book balance and what other balance? Well, if you say there's a variance, you are comparing 2 sets of records. So on one hand, you've got the cash book balance. What is the other balance that you're comparing with?
Is it the bank balance?
The bank balance, yeah.
That is the bank balance?
Yes.
So this 48, is it the bank balance or this is the cash book balance?
The cash book balance.
Could you just explain the difference between the two for our appreciation?
Yeah, usually the bank balance should be reconciled with the cash book balance so that we are able to see what other transactions are reflected in the cash book balance that are not in the bank statement, or what other unique transactions are there were effected through the banks but were not reflected in the cash book. Usually that's what causes differences between the two balances.
So can you resolve this without a certificate from the bank of the balance as at that time on this account?
Usually after a short period of time, if there were some unpresented or uncredited checks, they are presented, they are credited, and they...
I think you have not understood the chair's question.
Yes.
But the short answer is no. The problem here is that they did not give you a certificate at the time of audit from the bank confirming the bank balance. So if you look at the bank certificate of balance that has been presented by the governor,
yes,
you will see it has a date. Okay. It has a date of 15th March 2024, which is last week. That is when they were doing the reconciliation.
Yes, Chair. At the time of audit, that was the position.
So this reconciliation was being done with this meeting in mind. That is the same problem that I wanted us to go back to, Governor. You are the statement of bank certificate of balance from this account from KCB. I'm looking at it now. It is dated 15th of March 2024. That is last week. When is today? Huh? Today is 28th. So, Governor, you are doing this reconciliation or providing documents or sourcing documents
for
purposes of this meeting?
With all due respect, Senator, even if it's dated recently, the bank balance doesn't change. It can be checked. The balance we are talking about is for that time.
I understand that. I'm saying, when did you get this certificate of balance? It has a date there. This is your own document.
Yeah. I'll ask one of my teams to answer that.
Okay, so as he finds it, you will see another certificate of balance. I think when we'll get to that, you will read the dates for us. This is why I was asking you, when were you doing this reconciliation, Governor?
Yes. Reconciliation was done immediately after the audit.
But that is not possible, given the documents you have placed before us.
Chair.
Okay.
Maybe to reinforce what Senator
Senator again.
That's why we would say we used tooth and comb to look at your documents. Some of them was reconciled 11 January 2022. So the question that Senator Sifuna asked, how often do you do bank reconciliation? And Governor, if you go to my other question, do you have capacity challenges? Because this is just pure capacity, because if you should know when to do reconciliation, because document, this one is KCB, it is 11 January 2022. I thought the auditor at that time, the audit period under, which is extended up to November, the next financial, has been complete.
Yes, Chair.
Is it so?
Yes.
So, Governor, why would you introduce a strange document in the year under review? Unless this one is in the wrong place, because, and that is why we're asking, when do you do bank reconciliations, as has been requested by Senator Sifuna. Another one is, this one is another document, is also 11 January 2022. Another one, Chair, interesting, is 15 March 2024. When the governor realized he was coming to the Senate, he decided to go back and get another certificate of balance. Very interesting. Another one is 15 March 2024. And it is good, I'm seated to a very good gentleman who is the area senator, and he can confirm that what I'm seeing is what I'm saying. So that is why, Chair, I always insisted that we need to give chance to the client to clean up his own documentation.
I think
it doesn't make sense.
It's important to point out to them the problems we have here. Because if we just tell them, no, we are not dealing, they'll probably not be able to see what the problems are.
Yes.
And I think this then must be taken as a constructive exercise, where even you are learning.
Yes.
But it should also not amount to the Senate acting in vain.
Correct.
The Senate cannot act in vain. Parliament can never act in vain.
Chair, now, maybe it's a final observation. Some of this documentation on Annex Point 1.1 is not even owned, because they will tell you there must be a stamp saying certificate of the original copy.
Yeah, so,
where are the originals, Governor?
So there are all those things. There's, certification of the trueness of the copy, the pagination. Those are things that must improve when we do our future engagements. But Auditor General, you raised this matter, and it was part of the basis for the adverse opinion. On this KCB account, where 48 million is involved, I can see that takes, you cited 58 million. So 48 was in one account, KCB. Which was the other account with a big amount? Because also in your finding, it would have been useful for you to do a table listing the 7 accounts with the balance, the 2 balances that were not tallying.
If you look at that page 44,
which is the next big account?
If you look at that page 44 of the financial statements,
yes.
The first one is that KCB 48 million. The second one again is the following KCB 9,451.
Let's look at material ones.
Then skip. You only need.
What about the cooperative bank above it? That one is not a problem.
No, it starts from the 48 million. Then you go to the 9,000. Skip the 22. Then the rest are part of the 7.
So the Equity Bank Marsabet municipal revenue account, is that part of it?
Yes.
So then let's see how that has been addressed. Maybe just take the 2 samples, because 48 plus 8, that is already 56. So if the 2 are addressed, then it can guide us. So Governor, could you just confirm how you could reconcile the variance between cash book and bank balances for Equity Bank Marsabet?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the copy before me, if you have the same one, dated 14th January, balances.
Sorry, I missed you there. Just come again, Governor.
I was referring you to the one from Equity, the page just before the one we were addressing.
Is this the one dated 14th January 2022?
Yes. And I was saying, Mr. Chairman, as rightly observed, the dates were recent, but I want to state that they don't change the balances as at the time when it was required.
We know that.
Sorry, Governor, allow us to be with you on the same page.
Yeah.
It is after the Marsabet County KCB revenue account? Before.
Actually, when you get annexed 1.1 variance between the cash book and the financial, the first page.
Okay.
This one.
Okay, so what's the story there?
That is the bank balance certificates.
8.056.
Yes.
Which the Auditor General says there's a variance between it and the cash book.
Chair, but the statement is not certified. They are only signatures. I thought when you obtain a stick, it must be certified. Hey, Auditor General, what is happening?
Auditor?
It's not certified.
What is your expectation on that?
That document.
On that, let's start first from the balances. Then we go to the whether that document is even proper.
Yes. Chair, and that is why I insist, Chair, as they look at it, you know, as they look at it, as they look at it, Chair, you can understand why we are struggling through the documentation.
I don't think it is us struggling, Chair.
So personally, I'm struggling with the documentation because it is not the legitimate expectation on how we do things here.
I agree with Senator Cherargei to the extent that these are things that ought to have been covered during the audit. And to convert senators to be scrutinizing bank certificates and cash book entries is to reduce us to accountants and very junior accountants. So what we are doing here is really not what should be done at the Senate. And I think we are going to have a very painful exercise. We are going to extract teeth without anesthesia today, so that you can understand what is expected of you. And if we have another round, then those expectations must be met. So Auditor, you must help us. You raised this, made it a basis for the adverse opinion. How has that equity Marsabet account been treated, and what makes you satisfied that now the variances have been reconciled? Just demonstrate that to us.
Thank you, Chair. First, as regards this balance that has been raised by the Honorable Member, Senator, usually we confirm bank balances directly, although this one we didn't have enough time to confirm it directly, so we just took it at its face value. That's one.
Point of order, Chair.
Meshach, you are taking us into a very dangerous zone.
I don't feel comfortable sitting here anymore.
Yes.
How can you accept a document and which you not verified, and you're saying you just accepted it at face value?
No, I'm saying usually we confirm bank balances of clients.
Did you confirm that one?
Bank.
Did you confirm that one?
This one, no.
Thank you. The story ends there.
Chair, that is what I've been saying all along.
That's what we are talking about.
I think the OG has a power under the law, isn't it? Patrick, does
how can we not
there's power under the law,
yes,
but we don't usually go to the bank for all of them.
Yes. And that is why
Only
Chair was saying this document is failing short of authenticity.
Order, senators.
Chair, it will not change that the OAG did not confirm this document with the bank.
Because I would have expected, out of the 7 accounts, we have demonstrated that only 2 had the big amounts. There was a KCB with 48 and Equity with about 8. So the least we could have done was to independently
look at the
get those certificates, so that we don't have these questions of credibility of what is before us. In fact, when you go further to the bank reconciliation, purported bank reconciliation for that equity account, the date there is 18th of December 2023. 18th December.
What is the fate of this document that has 8 million, yet it cannot be owned or verified? Should we strike out because it has not been confirmed?
I think
our hands are tied, and that is why, Chair, if this document has not been verified, in our report we will not quote it, and it will affect negatively to the responses of the client. Because
so Senator Cherake, we have three options. I'm seeing 3 scenarios now unfolding. Scenario number 1 is for the Senate to attempt to look at these records supporting annexures and convert ourselves to junior accountants, which is a scenario which is untenable. Scenario number 2 is to ask the Auditor General to go back and confirm the authenticity of what has been presented, for example, like in this case. Scenario number 3 is just to call for a forensic audit of Marsabet County for the financial year that is under question, because it might appear as if the 8 billion cannot be accounted for. So a forensic audit is usually conducted with a view to prosecution. Those are the 3 scenarios that we have. I don't think we have any other.
And Chair, that is why I would have expected the governor to take the second option, which is more fair. Because if we order forensic audit with a view of prosecution, it will be a different animal altogether. And that is why, if the authenticity of this document is in question, we should have given time OAG to go and cross-check with the entity, which is the bank, then give us the correct position. Because 8 billion is not small money. I know it's small money to some people, but to great people of Marsabet, it's serious money that can transform a lot of livelihoods there. So, Chair, with this document, and I know, Governor, I don't know, because this is the end of, Governor, through the Chair,
yes,
maybe, would you be comfortable, because this document is not authentic, we strike it off, which will affect your answer and will affect our final report. Which is through the Speaker,
Point of order, Chair.
Just so that I finish.
I don't think we have capacity sitting here to determine an document being authentic or inauthentic. I think the problems we are facing, Governor, and this is what we started with, is that these documents have been generated for this meeting. And therefore, that there has not been opportunity for the Auditor General to independently verify them. And the point that Cherargei is raising is that you need to certify documents. If you make copies of documents, you certify them. You don't say the originals are there. Yes, the originals might be there, but the copies you present before a House of Record should be certified. So this is the problem we had anticipated we would run into. But you yourself have said you're comfortable going on with this exercise, which I also agree with. Let us find out where the problem is so that lessons can be taught, as the Chair has said.
No, but I didn't complain. I didn't complete my argument. Of course, I agreed with largely with Senator Sifuna, which I rarely do. But my point is very simple, Governor, and that is why we gave you an option which you didn't see it. Now, when we close this audit query, and that is why Chair was talking about double jeopardy, it will mean your answer will be less this document, which means when we'll do our report writing, it will affect the recommendations of the committee. Because this document is not authentic, because it has not been verified by the Auditor General. And that is why myself, I was cautious with the proceeding of this meeting. Because as Senator Sifuna said, we were expecting to run into turbulence. We were approaching Meru, and we were saying there are turbulence ahead as per the projection as the pilot going to Marsabet. So, Chair, we are now in the turbulence. Should we put autopilot? Should we fly back? Or should we crash land? Thank you, Chair.
Chair. We must fly. Senator Maria Mumar.
Chair, as much as also we blame Governor, there is also, I have a concern with OG. Because in question 1, which is a variance of between cash book and financial statement, or 7 accounts, differ from the respective total cash balances. And if you go to the receipts, cash books, and the certificates, if they can give us what are the variance between the two, is when we can clearly go to the supporting document. Because the supporting document is showing the cash book is the same as and the certificate. So here, the audit query is not even guiding us anywhere.
Each differ. Yeah. So there's I think there's a matter that OAG must confirm, and particularly because it's important to be specific on the accounts. I've been trying to be very specific on 2 accounts, which if you can deal with, I don't think we'd have a problem with the other 5 accounts. The second account is this equity account, where you have seen a certificate of balance, assuming it was authentic. Assuming. I'm not saying it is, but assuming it was authentic.
Actually, it is.
Assuming, because the Auditor General will have to confirm that. Look at the bank reconciliation that follows. Senator Sifuna says things are being done with this meeting in mind. A bank reconciliation for 30th June 2021. What is the legitimate expectation on when it should be done? This was done on 18th December 2023. Auditor General, what is the expectation?
Chair, it should be done within the first week of July after that 30th of June.
So it ideally, even if it delayed,
yes,
even if it was a correcting a reconciliation,
yes,
it should have been July 2021.
Yeah, because by that time, most of the transactions have reflected on both the cash book and the bank statement.
But this was done on 18th of December 2023. That's 2 years later. Governor, what would be the explanation for that?
Mr. Chairman, we talked about this earlier, and it was regrettable that it delayed. However, what I insist is that the facts and material content of this matter does not change. And I don't have any objection the way Senator is implying that the auditors can confirm again if they have not confirmed. Mr. Chairman, 75% of the queries have been discussed and really agreed with the auditors and my team. So, and that's what we are saying. The facts and the material content of this matter can be confirmed, and I stand by them. The delay, I have said, I apologize.
Governor, if they had agreed at the time of audit, we would not be having this conversation.
Yes.
And that's why the Constitution has deemed it fit that these reports come to Parliament.
Correct.
Because some agreements can also be agreements that have been managed.
Yeah.
So you must have an independent eye.
Mm-hmm.
What we are just asking you to do is to convince us that what the Auditor General raised has been fixed and fixed within the law.
Correct.
From the first issue you have dealt with, I, as a chair of this committee, I am not satisfied that that variance and that inconsistency that has been cited has been addressed. In my mind, I still believe that we have an adverse opinion. The opinion is not going to change, but my thoughts about this is that this reconciliation, I agree with Senator Sifuna, part of it was done to satisfy the Senate rather than to make sure that books are well kept. And when you do things to satisfy the Senate, then you can end up with fabrication of records. Senator Onyoka.
Governor, I completely have utmost respect for you because you've been my colleague. We worked together in the coalition government. My history with you is very fresh in my mind. What I want to say, and I please want to beg you, you have to allow us to adjourn this thing. I am not comfortable with what I'm being told and what I am seeing. I am completely unhappy with the Auditor General has done, and I shouldn't express my opinion. You cannot deliver documents to them when I'm asking him here, can you verify that the document you have is actually a true copy of the original? He doesn't. According to me, it humiliates my excellence and my performance and my responsibility as somebody who's supposed to oversight you. So my position is I am actually asking my chair to stop any further engagement with you until these things are sorted out.
Yeah, on something else. Just on something else.
Okay, Senator Cherokee.
Governor, what we are saying is not, we are not saying the issue of account, this amount or everything. What we are looking about is a procedure and authenticity. The standard procedure is that this document, the Auditor General must go and look at it. That's what we are just saying. We don't have a problem with your answer. Your answer could be correct, but it should be authenticated and verified. That is a standard procedure of any document. And that is why, if this committee or in any forum we used to allow photocopies, it would not make sense. That is why even if you do a photocopy, it must be verified or authenticated through stamping or by signature, even superimposing that document, Chair. So I agree, but Chair, if we have to proceed, then we strike out this document. And when the governor comes for other part of the audit, we will not go back to this question. We write our report without this document.
You know, Senator Spooner has just whispered something to me here. In this query, if the certificates were provided at the time of audit and authenticated, would we have a problem? YG?
Chair, we would not.
We would not have a problem. So to solve it was just presentation of the certificates.
Yeah, and the bank reconciliation statement.
The bank reconciliation. Yes. But we are in a situation where we have certificates here, but the Auditor General cannot confirm their authenticity. Are you able to confirm the authenticity of the certificates that are before us?
Chair, we can write to the bank to confirm.
No, what we have, are you able to do it now?
Now, no.
On the basis of the records before us?
We've not yet. There was no time.
Then definitely this matter remains unresolved. And members, I know there is frustration. Perhaps this is the messiest situation I find myself in as a chair, where we are not agreeing 100% with the OAG. And for the comfort of Senator Cherarkei, I want us to attempt issue number 2, because issue number 1 is unresolved until the Auditor General is able to authenticate those certificates. We still maintain that those variances, which then point to loss of funds, remain.
Mr. Chairman, with due respect, kindly allow me this.
Governor?
Yeah, I was saying, I'm a bit surprised because my team briefed me that this issue actually indeed had been resolved with the auditors. That is the brief I have from my team. So I'm shocked when the auditors are saying they cannot confirm now.
You see, when you come to the Senate, there are questions the Senate asks, which sometimes the auditor may not have asked at that point. You are presented the auditor with a bank certificate, and they trust that it is authentic. The Senate is insisting that it has to be authenticated, and I think that is a fair. That is a very fair directive from the Senate, because even you, if your employee brought to you a bank account statement without a proper, authorization, you cannot trust it.
Then in that case, Chairman, why don't you follow what Senator Cherargei has suggested? Because if what the teams have said they have resolved, then we come here, then it is not resolved again.
Governor, I know you are used to giving directives in the county. Today I'm the chair.
I agree, and I respect the chairman.
I will give the directives.
All right, Chair.
You had pleaded that we proceed. I granted you that favor. I'm not going to allow you to direct the committee again.
Chair, let me,
Senator Chute,
with your permission, let me make one request. You remember I asked the governor if he's comfortable to proceed.
Yes.
And I'm still very uncomfortable. Can you kindly, please, adjourn this meeting? Kindly, please.
Because Chair, even Chair, we are using time here. Then it is like rocking a chair. If we continue, it will mean when we meet again, we'll go back because this issue remains unresolved. That is the effect of before Sifuna comes on board. Let me just finish.
And
this issue 1.1 remains, Chair, unresolved. So which means when we meet, we'll have again to reopen.
Chair, I think the problem emanates from AOG. This is their problem.
Yes.
Yes, this is not the governor's problem.
We cannot allow Senator Chute.
No, I'm going to
order, Chair. OAG is part of this committee.
Allow Senator Chute to express himself. We'll guide him accordingly.
Yes, you see, what the AOG is saying is he has not found time to agree on his documents, isn't it? That's what he's saying. So whose blame is this now?
But you are saying that maybe OAG does not have enough resources.
I think to be fair to OAG, we have asked questions which perhaps OAG did not ask at that
point of order, Chair.
Senator Sifuna.
Chair, we will go back to the initial conversation we had with the governor. You cannot blame the AOG for not finding time to go through and authenticate all these documents when they were served on him last week for purposes of this meeting. That's what I'm telling you, Senator Chute. If you look at the governor's own documents, the bank reconciliations, the certificates of bank balance that he has annexed to answer the query are from last week. They came from the bank on 15th of March 2024. So if the Auditor General's role was, after he received this document, he needed to go through all of them and discovers that he needs to call KCB in Marsabet to authenticate this document, you cannot then blame the Auditor General. This is an exercise that should have been concluded in 2021. This bank, KCB Marsabet, was in existence in Marsabet in 2021. They would have very easily gotten this document immediately. They saw issue number 1 is unreconciled bank balances. So you cannot shift the blame from the governor. And Chair, because the senator for Marsabet is only a friend of this committee, he must allow this committee to do its job. I have also been a friend in committees where he is a member and is a chair. We don't go to his committees to direct because it is an obvious conflict of interest. He comes from Marsabet. At the end of the day, the decisions we take must be taken by substantive members of this committee. And as a substantive member of this committee, Chair, I am telling you, we must proceed so that the governor and his team understands, even if they are to come back later, what issues the Senate has flagged. Let them go back home knowing they need, when they come back, to paginate this document, to give documents that are legible. They have originals. Let them make better copies. Let them understand that these delays are the ones occasioning this dilemma we are in, allow the Auditor General to independently contact these banks. This is just one issue, Senator Chute. During the briefing, you were not here. There are 1,001 questions that we need to ask. And we don't do these things for the sake of doing them. We are doing them for purposes of that 8 billion shillings that the chair continues to refer. So I know, Senator Chute, you might be getting impatient, but this is how the County Public Accounts Committee does its work. We will go through these volumes. We are only on issue number 1. We will read all these documents, because some people think they can come and hoodwink this committee by dumping documents on us. We are not any other committee. We will read these things. And we have to show the county governor where he has gone wrong, so that next time we have a conversation, it flows. We say, yes, this thing was done this time, enough sufficient time was given, it was not done for purposes of this meeting. That is the process of audit. I go through this audit myself as an accounting officer at ODM. I do this.
Stop it there, because when you mention ODM, Cherargei will be jittery.
No, I will not do that. I wish I would have attended FINROL in Narok where Sifuna was. But the point I'm trying to make is, what happens if 1.1 remains unresolved? Because, Chair, you need to give a ruling so that if it remains unresolved, if the client comes back, we don't need to reopen. We go with the answer as is now.
What I would propose,
was 1.1 remains unresolved.
Issue number 1 is on cash and cash equivalents. This is actual money.
Yes.
This is actual money.
Correct.
It's extremely important.
Correct.
But issue number 1 has got 2 legs. There's 1.1 and there's 1.2. Let us deal with that 1 in totality. 1.1, 1.2. Already I can see in support of 1.2, you have got 1.5 reams of paper. So, can we move to 1.2? Then we'll now take a view on cash and cash equivalents, whether it has been fairly presented. So we move from 1.1 with those reservations that we have made. Let's go to 1.2.
Chair, I seek your indulgence.
Governor?
Yes. Kindly guide us on who is to certify these documents, kindly.
Governor, do you have a county attorney in the...
I have.
Ask that question to the county attorney.
No, why I'm asking that kindly is because my team says they have given the originals to the auditors. And it's on that basis that they give copies to this honorable committee. Then...
Governor, let me help you. On 1.1, our problem is on the authenticity of the bank certificates. There's a process of certifying bank certificates, and the OAG has got powers in statute to get those certificates directly. That's what we are asking the OAG to do. So let's deal with case-by-case issues. That one is clear. I think I see your officer nodding as if he understands what I'm talking about. So for bank certificates, that is clearly, very clear in practice and very clear in law what the role of the OAG is. Let's go to 1.2. Auditor General, read your finding.
Thank you, Chair. Paragraph 1.2, undisclosed balance and unsupported expenditure of COVID-19 funds.
What is this about?
As disclosed under Note 11 on other important disclosures, a balance brought forward from the previous year of 118,819,000 in respect to COVID-19 funds was received but not fully utilized. During the year under review, the county executive spent a total of 89,991,568 shillings. However, the balance of 28,827,432 shillings was not included in the bank balance as at 30th June 2021. Further, procurement records to support the aforementioned expenditure were not provided for review, contrary to Section 68(6) of the Public Procurement and Assets Disposal Act 2015, that require that an accounting officer shall maintain a proper filing system with clear link between procurement and expenditure files that facilitates an audit trail. In the circumstance, the accuracy of the COVID-19 fund balance totaling 28,827,432 shillings as at 30th June 2021 and the validity of the expenditure of 89,991,568 shillings for the year ended June 2021 could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair.
Governor, your response?
Mr. Chairman, the management has reviewed the report and established that the balance of Kenya shillings 28,827,432 relating to outstanding payments that were recorded in cash book as at 30th June 2021 but did not clear from the bank. Bank reconciliations are attached for your reference at Appendix 1.2a. Further, the procurement and other supporting documents on COVID-19 expenditure are submitted for your review at Appendix 1.2b.
So here the auditor is saying that you rolled over 118 million, and auditor, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, because I want to break it down in a manner that we can understand now that we have decided to be junior accountants. That you brought over 118 million into the financial year. You spent 89 million in that year. So there ought to have been a balance of 28 million held in the bank. Is that the case?
Yes.
That's the case. It's simple mathematics. You had 118, you spent 89, so 28 million was supposed to have been included in the bank balance as at 30th of June. So could you demonstrate that 28 million was unspent and was included in the bank balance? Which appendix here? 1.2a.
Chair, I don't have 1.2a. I just have 1.2.
1.2, sorry.
So 1.2. So what is that? What is that there? Please explain what that is. Yeah, please explain the annexure.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'll ask Mr. Kobes to explain.
Yeah, please, and be very precise.
Thank you. Through the chair, the report of the Auditor General says we had a balance of 118, we spent 89 during the year, and we had a balance of 28 million.
Correct.
As at 30th June. But within that we had payments that were made on 30th June 2021 that reflected the first week or if you look at that, the second, I think after 4 documents there, we had a statement from COVID-19 CBK.
How does it look like now that you have not paid?
It's an Excel document.
Huh?
It's an Excel document. Or let's start. We have reconciliation, Chair. In that reconciliation, we had a balance as per bank certificate, which was 28 million.
Where is the bank certificate?
The first document after
the annex.
After the annex, the first document, Chair.
Which one?
Annex 1.2.
Perhaps no. It says balance as per bank certificate. I'm asking for that bank certificate that you're referring to there.
Oh, we have the last document, Chair. If you look after the first.
It's 4 documents. Balance as per bank certificate attached. Where is it? Where is that bank certificate?
We have attached a bank statement, Chair.
Where is it?
And
is a statement the same as a certificate?
No.
The first 4 pages.
After the first 4 pages.
You have said balance as per bank certificate.
Yes.
28 million.
Yes.
That's a 28.8 million we are looking at.
We are looking at, yes.
So can you show us that bank certificate that confirms that there was 28?
We don't have it here, Chair, but the query was on why we
don't have it. Yeah. Or you do have it?
We don't have it here.
You don't?
Yes.
Or don't?
No, we don't. Here in this appendix, it's not attached.
Why of all these volumes would you not attach the one document that would exonerate you?
We had attached a statement from CBK, bank statement from CBK, that will show the balance as a 30th.
Okay, we'll proceed.
Chair, we have that bank reconciliation.
Point of order. when you look immediately after annex, it's the same problem with certification and authenticity and ownership of this document. On the one of 28, where balance per cash book 9.7. And there is a strange document following. I don't know what document, that document. Is it one and the same? The second one, it is just has some computation of Al Hussein Investment Limited and Tunasco is set for 26,200,000. I don't know, there is no letterhead, there is no ownership, there is some strange signature. So it is not even certified. The first two documents after annex.
Yeah.
Who is the owner of this document?
Senator, I think you'll intimidate the young man. I'm not sure whether he's young or he's just small-bodied. Yes. But you'll intimidate the officer because we are going to put that question to him on even the document he's referring to, which does not have a date.
Okay.
Okay, proceed.
Chairman, thank you, Chair. So we had bank reconciliation. The first document attached.
So what does this document tell us? What's the story here, now that you brought it to the Senate?
The story on the bank reconciliation, it shows the balances between cash book and the bank, the bank as of that day.
What is the date of this story?
It's at June 2021.
That is as at, but what, on which date was this story written?
Should have been 30th, but
No,
I've not seen
tell
it.
us, read
No
from the
date, no date, no date. From
So
the, from,
was it done yesterday? Was it done this morning? Was it done in 2021? Because someone might think that we are being petty, but you are brought to us a bank reconciliation without a date to convince us that the 28 million that was rolled over existed somewhere. And I know Senator Onyonka is kicking me under the table because he's very frustrated. But allow us to demonstrate to the governor so that when the governor goes back home, you call your officers to order. It is for that reason, these things we are seeing here, that you have an adverse opinion. And it is for that reason you lost 160 million under the KDSP. So were you done with the explanation?
Yes, Chair.
So where in your explanation are you telling us that that 28 million that was rolled over was there or was used for a particular purpose? So was it there? Because the Auditor General says that the 28 million was not included in the bank balance. So what happened to the 28 million?
Chair, if you just allow me to refer you to the same documents.
Yes.
The first three, just roll over the first three documents, and I will refer you to, we have attached extracts of a cash book just to show you the balances.
Which one? The one that is undated or the second one?
No.
This one saying receipts. This one?
No. Okay, allow me then explain. Let's go past the bank reconciliation, the undated bank reconciliation.
We have another undated schedule.
That schedule is explaining the difference between the bank balance as a 30th.
I don't think we're on the same page, with great respect. But is our clerk here? George, can you go and see which page he's referring to? Because I am totally lost.
The Annex 1.2, the first page.
The first page has something called bank reconciliation.
Yes.
After that, we have a schedule showing 2 persons who have been paid.
Yes.
Then after that, we have an extract of cash book.
This one, written receipts at the top.
Yes.
Okay, what does that show us?
I wanted to take you to the next page after
Okay.
receipts. So
Yes.
after receipts, we have an extract of cash book.
After receipts, your payments.
Yes.
Yes, an extract of cash book
Yes.
showing the payments that were made as at 30th June 2021.
Yeah,
Chair?
so if a payment has been made and it doesn't clear, as per the governor's response, shouldn't we see that in your bank statements?
Yes.
Where are those bank statements?
After that payment,
Yes.
we have.
You're going too fast.
Oh, sorry.
The Excel spreadsheet, payments in cash book not reflected in bank statement as at 30th of June 2020.
Yes.
Is that the real date, 2020, not 2021?
Should be 2021.
What is there? Your document says
Sorry, Chair.
Should it
The payments in cash book not reflected in bank statement as at 30th June 2021.
No, read what is
It's 2020. It's indicated 2020.
It is indicated 2020.
Yes.
So, what is the use of giving us that schedule for 30th June 2020?
That's an error, Chair. Sorry.
You see, Governor, why it was important for us to go through this?
Yeah, I see. It's important.
So then, you know, your first document, undated, your second one, undated, referring to a different financial year. Why do we waste time even to go to subsequent explanations? In English or in whichever language you're familiar with, this 28 million, what happened to it? Who took it?
Okay. Chair, the 28 million was paid to 2 contractors that have done or that have worked for county government of Marsabet.
Why is it difficult to just demonstrate that? Bringing us undated reconciliations and schedules relating to the year 2020. Governor, why would that be so difficult?
Mr. Chairman,
to 28 million out of 8 billion to then expose us to this charade that we're going through.
No, Mr. Chairman, I agree with you that a lot of errors have been made in the process of demonstrating that. But the statement from the bank, which of course is verifiable, is very clear, Mr. Chairman.
What is required is a bank certificate.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a statement. Remember, it was the first question that
which can be gotten, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Onyonka.
Governor.
Yeah.
If you look at these documents that have been displayed here, what we are actually saying, if you give me just a 1 hour, I'll get you another one like this from River Road. If you give me, in fact, 30 minutes.
This is from KCB Bank.
No,
it can be confirmed now.
I don't have that.
So CBK, actually CBK here.
It hasn't been certified to be a true copy of the original.
That's the error. That is the error which I accept.
You are asking me to abdicate on my responsibility.
No,
you are telling me to take what you've given me, accept it at face value because you are saying so. And we are saying our GPS is the Auditor General's office. They are saying what you have presented here doesn't satisfy the basic tenets of accounting. I don't know why you are pushing we do this thing and yet it's injuring you.
No, but I think on this one, Mr. Chairman, the auditor, maybe we will hear from him, but
and that is why maybe before the governor finishes.
Even though if auditor, if you cleared this matter with the documents that are before us, then we do not agree with you. Patrick.
Thank you, Chair.
And we are really in this situation where we disagree with the auditor.
Chair, the only thing we have not done independently on this issue is the independent confirmation from the bank.
Which means?
But otherwise, the one for 2020, that one, I don't know why it's running away from it, because we were talking about the balance brought forward at the beginning of the financial year 2021. So that reconciliation should be as at 2020. So the only thing we have not done
Chair, I think the auditor is going to very dangerous grounds.
Auditor, and you know, it was deliberate why I asked whether it was 2020 or 2021.
Yes.
And it is upon the client to tell us. Because now if the client does not even understand his documents and why they are before us, then it becomes a bit of a circus. Senator
Chair, and that is why I was asking, although you had said it will be referred, on this document that is not dated, it's not authenticated, it's not certified. Governor, it's not a simple error. If we allow this, it will mean we'll struggle because it's not an authenticated document, as Senator Onyonga has said. And number two, Chair, like somebody like Tunasco insert was paid in some document, I don't know where it originates from, maybe the CFO can tell us, was paid 26.550 over 26 million, and then Al Hussein investment was paid 2.2 million, 58984, and total came to 28.809234. So I don't know what is the essence of this document, Governor, because it's not paginated, it's not documented, it's not certified. And who is this Tunasco Insat and Al Hussein investment? Because going through to the, you should even have attached with the payment voucher that was attached, so that we know this Tunasco, who was given 26.5 million, given even as a breakdown. I don't know whether auditor you cited, even if it is beds, how many were they? If it is some non-pharmaceuticals that was supplied, or even gloves, or masks, you know, it should have something. So, you know, the people of Marsabit, Governor, and through the chair, would really want to know why would Tunasco Insat being paid 26.5. So you break down so that even when you go back and tell them, I paid this company 26 million, they gave us 10 beds, they gave us 100 gloves, they gave us 1,000 masks, they gave us sanitizers that how many liters, maybe 1,000 liters. You know, it becomes even neater and orderly, Chair. So on these two documents, the authenticity is not there. And Chair, I think as per the ruling, we will just struck off so that when Governor comes, his answer remains insufficient.
Yes, Governor, you know, I get a feeling that I'm frustrating my members through my insistence on proceeding. But out of experience, I believe that this painful exercise helps you and your team to see what problems there are, so that if you have another appearance, then they are not repeated. In fact, I would ask if all these have been brought to support the issue. All this is part of Appendix 2, isn't it? All this has been brought to support Appendix 2, which already the first pages are undated. The second one, as a date which your officer has disowned, it then renders all these other pieces of paper inadmissible.
Chair, can I add something on what you are saying?
Just allow me to... Okay. Now, Governor, of these pages, what is in it of value to the committee as far as responding to this question is concerned? Yes, yes. Yeah. What can we mine out of this almost 2 reams of paper addressing 28 million?
These are supporting documents, Mr. Chairman, payment vouchers and other, the way Senator Cherargei was asking.
Supporting how much?
The payments for you know, the companies he was asking.
Is it supporting 28 million?
No, Chair,
the 118 million which was raised.
It is supporting the 118 million.
118 million. Is there one of them being Tunasco, as he said?
Just a bit, hold on a bit, Senator Cherargei. Is there a summary schedule
of?
Is there a summary schedule of? Because you've got all these pages, just a breakdown. Because the Auditor General has said that what was not provided, procurement records to support the expenditure were not provided for review, despite the law requiring a proper filing system. So what you've done is you have brought your filing system to the Senate to justify that. Isn't there a more efficient way to respond without printing 20 copies of this?
Mr. Chairman, initially, you know, the auditors raised the fact that they didn't see evidence for payment of 89 million and that of 28 million. So the team felt the vouchers and all evidences be attached here.
Okay, so is there a schedule that tells us that supplier A, Pacton, was paid 20 million for this service? Supplier
A summary is not there.
So it means you have to go through all these pages to make that inference.
Yeah.
I'm giving you suggestions on how to make your submissions to the Senate easily digestible. Because I can tell you, if you want us to go through this, then we'll be here until Eid. So just take note, those who prepare these statements, the technical officers, please do that. It makes our life easier.
Yeah, to prove your point, I just wanted to say they were just filing these documents for the sake. Look at the payment voucher to, if Governor was saying this payment vouchers is to support payment to these two companies. What was the name, Senator? Maybe you can assist me. These two, Al Hussein Investment Limited and Tunasco Insat.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
It's not to the two.
Vice Chair can never be out of order.
Governor.
Yeah.
Governor, you are no longer a member, so you can't rise on a point of order.
Okay, I am guided, Mr. Chairman, but I just wanted to.
You wait. You
Can
ask
I
the chair
demonstrate
for an
my
opportunity.
choice, then you
Yeah, so
please
proceed.
Yes. Because I was trying to understand you, Chair, Governor. I was requesting to know where 28.8 million, you said they are payment vouchers. In this annexure, you have included some of the payment vouchers.
Yes.
For example, a company called Barton Investment was paid 12.5 million.
Yes.
And then I think the LPO is to that company. Then another, just quickly, another, I think, counter receipt voucher. It goes, and then Barton Investment themselves have written a receipt of 12.5, and then blah, blah, blah. My concern, what does this 12.5 million prove? Is it part of you trying to prove the 28 that has been queried, or you are answering a different question? Because this is a different company looking at what your CFO provided. That Tunasco Insat and the rest have been paid 26 million, and the other one 2 million. So what is the essence of this voucher? Because that is what the chair was saying.
I can help my brother, Senator Cherargei. The governor is a very knowledgeable person. His team is okay. They understand that the query was for 28 million. There's a reason why they brought these bulky documents to the Senate. I have not finished. Governor, I am a legal practitioner. I know exactly what people do when they present bulky documents. Like when we walked into this room and saw these documents, we knew this is exactly what we were going to encounter. You are attempting to bury the committee in documents. No. Because you know for a fact the auditor's query is 28. And the evidence is there in this schedule that this young man was referring to. There are only two companies. The total amount comes to 28,809. There is absolutely no other reference, reason why you would attach a document not relating to the 28 and leave out, Governor, that statement of account that would show us where these checks were hanging. Why would you leave out that statement that would exonerate you, but include payment vouchers that have nothing to do with the 28?
Yeah, like, if you're allowed to answer that.
I want to now impute negative motive on the record. You are trying to drown the committee in documents.
I am not. Mr. Chairman, sorry about that. I wanted to clarify when Senator Cherargei raised this matter. The vouchers attached are not only for the 28 million and for the 2 million, but there is an earlier question by the auditors wanting to see evidence of payments for 89 million.
98.
98? 89. I think 89. Same query. So there are several companies which constituted the 89. And to give you insights, our director for procurement is here. If you want more details, he can shed more light. But the fact is, the vouchers are not relating only to the two companies, but to several companies constituting payments of 89, 28, and the 2 million.
But it is 26 and 2 million, it's not 28. Oh. Now the governor, you know, Chair, the governor is also trying to bury us with his own answers again. Because what the auditor, why don't you, Governor, give us payment vouchers of 28 million? I can agree with the second part of 89, but why would you not provide, it was easy for you to provide payment vouchers for 89 million, but on this one, on 28 million, you don't want to provide payment vouchers. You have just given us undated document of only payments of cash book not reflected in bank statement as 30th June 2020. But you cannot give us the payment. Where is the payment vouchers for these two companies of 26 million and 2 million?
Governor, before you respond,
yeah.
I think we had agreed that this query would have been responded to better if you had a schedule that lists the vendor, that lists the amount, that lists the date contracted, date paid, PV number, and tender number, if that is available. And you might find that that 89 million perhaps was paid to 10 or 20 companies. How many companies were paid? Do you have that? You see? Now, if you don't know the number of companies, you expect us now to go through these records from page to page. A summary sheet would then show company 1 was paid 20 million. Company 2 was paid 5 million. What the Senate would do would just to take a sample and take company 1 that was paid 20 million and ask for the supporting documents. If we tick that, we go to another company, paid maybe 5 million. Maybe take 3, if it's a population of 20, take 4, 5, we test. The same way we did with those bank statements. We would have been out of this, you would have been 2 reams richer as a county. It is 2 o'clock, members. I have come to the conclusion that it will not be tenable for us to proceed with this interrogation. But I am at least happy that we have been able to demonstrate some of the gaps that need to be closed. Now, members, I wanted to propose that we have the option of adopting the Auditor General's report as is, which would mean that the Senate is saying that 8 billion was stolen from Marsabet. But I think it would also be fair for us to accord a proper hearing to the governor of Marsabet. But when we give you that window for a proper hearing, it will be important that you serve us with records that are relevant and that are precise to the questions before us. I want to propose to the committee that the first issue that we have dealt with, 1.1, 1.2, has not been responded to the satisfaction of the Senate, despite 2 reams of paper that has been presented before us. I want to urge the governor to take leadership and ensure that there is a meeting between your finance team and the Office of the Auditor General so that they are able to authenticate all the records that come before the Senate. It is unfortunate that knowing well that you are coming to the Senate, you only sent documents to the Auditor General on the 20th of March. Clerk, when did our letter to Marsabet go out? Are we the ones who gave a short notice? Or is it the county government that chose to respond on the last day, on the last possible day?
It went on 15th of February, busier.
So we sent a letter on the 15th of February, alerting you that we'd be appearing before the Senate today. I think you must go back and ask your officers why they had to respond on the 20th of March, and therefore putting us in this situation that we are in. These auditors, we have worked with them, and I don't think we have found ourselves in this situation, because I know when they are given time, they do a thorough job, and I know that they are faithful to their constitutional duties. We are now asking them to authenticate things which ideally it is a client who should be authenticating. And if they are to use third-party sources for authentication, they need time. It is on that basis that I'm convinced that we must terminate these proceedings and we must provide another date for the county government of Marsabet. And Governor, if you follow our line of questioning, I suspect that you'll come with a smaller batch of documents. For example, I've just demonstrated that all this could easily have been supported by a schedule so that we just deal with exceptional cases. Maybe there's a supply you paid 5,000. We don't need to waste time on that. But the supply you paid 50 million, we'll have to query and check the procurement records. So I hope that to the team that has accompanied you, this has been a learning exercise, and I wish the county assembly was present so that they can be able to see what they're expected to do. Because the rules that we use and the laws that we use are the same ones that they have available to them. So, Governor, it may have been painful, but I do not think it is a waste of time. Members, it may have been frustrating, but I do not think it is a waste of time. For the people of Marsabet, we must make sure that every single cent that goes there is accounted for. So, Senator Chute, You may be disappointed that we have not gone to the end of this session. The people of Marsabit may be disappointed, but we want to be fair. The audit exercise is fair. In fact, within the context of fair administrative action, is that Article 47 or 48? 47. Article 47. The audit exercise is a very fair process. And we want the process in the Senate to be equally fair, so that when we declare someone unfit to hold public office, they cannot go to court and say that they were not given a fair opportunity to defend themselves. And when we say that money was stolen and someone should be investigated, prosecuted, and jailed, no one says that we cut corners. We will give you a fair opportunity to defend this expenditure. Unfortunately, we cannot conclude that today. Clerk, I think you will look at your diary and schedule the appearance of Marsabit at the earliest opportunity. And Governor, please engage the Office of the Auditor General in good time. That way we can have a much more refreshing conversation. We can even have time to talk about some of the things that you are doing in Marsabit that contribute towards devolution. It's very unfortunate that we have spent 2 hours talking about cash book, bank balances, bank certificates. I don't know whether your average voter understands what we've been talking about and what we've been arguing about since morning. So let's deal with these small things so that we can focus on the big things. Members, if you agree with me that this is a point at which we terminate, then I will ask for your closing remarks. Senator Onyonka, if you do agree that we terminate at this point, then give us your closing remarks.
Chair, through you, I think I have expressed my honest feeling to the governor, and I've told him the Auditor General and our office are actually meant to be your last lines of defense. We are not here to accuse you. We are not making any statement. All we are saying, can we please do it properly and within the law? That's all. Just give us documents which are verified. Let us confirm everything the way it is, so that if there is anything, we can then mitigate and argue about it. But for me to sit here and look at this with my training and level of education and exposure, I feel inept. I can't go on. So it's up to you to decide. I know your team may not have the requisite capacities and everything. Those are things you can do internally for yourself. And please tell the two gentlemen and the ladies who came with you that the responsibility is to make sure they cover your name and make sure they do this work with the dignity it deserves. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Mofaya, you are here.
Very true to say, Honorable Chair, wish the Governor well and his team, and I'm very sure what we are doing today, whether bad or good, will haunt us tomorrow. We are not here for long.
Okay. Senator Sifuna.
Yeah, Chair, I don't know what the Senator means, but personally, I've been very disappointed, Governor, because we come here to have a conversation that can help us to move a few things forward. I'm sure this is something you know, that some of us are very serious about devolution. Our intention is to help counties to work. We don't like to encounter entities that impeach our arguments for extra resources. I think the division of revenue was passed last week in the National Assembly, right?
Yeah, it was read the first time yesterday.
Yes.
We are doing second reading.
And it is coming to the Senate. It's actually today. When I stand there and I'm saying that we need 415 billion, you as the Council of Governors had proposed 450. If people encounter these things and the public can see all these things, they ask us, why are you asking for extra resources for these counties? And yet we have very fundamental problems. Help us to help you. That's what we are saying. Help us to help you, so that when we are pushing for those greater resources for unbundling and completion of the devolution of functions and all these other things that we talk about here in Nairobi, please don't give the enemies of devolution an excuse to deny us money to counties. So for me, really, it has been a painful process, I have to admit, because we read these things. Because when we see these documents here, in fact, it's always a red flag. If a county or an entity shows up with a small document like this, it means they have cleared the bulk of the documentation issues with the Auditor General. But if you bring this exercise to us, Governor, it is very unfair, honestly speaking. It's very unfair. Documents that are undated, documents that are uncertified, and you have, you've told me you have a legal person there, your county attorney, who's supposed to advise you on some of these things. Let those people do their jobs. Because you can see most of them have not said a word here. They won't say the word, but yet they are the people who have put you in this situation, Governor. Make sure that everybody does their job. So for us, I'll be looking forward to the next encounter. I don't know what the chair will direct with this, now that Marsabet has already incurred expenses with these documents. Will we be returning it to them for them to perfect them, or will we be expecting submission of fresh documents? I'm hoping there will be somebody who will write the pages so that your team doesn't struggle the way it has been doing, saying count 7 pages from here, just basic things. And then we will be able to actually have a conversation. So for me, Chair, I have nothing more to add. I thank you.
Thank you, Senator Sifuna. Senator Chute.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I'm really not happy today. I'm a disappointed person. And I think the governor has learned a lot today. And I will urge the governor and his team to work on the same documents. They must realize the documents. And whatever is required of them to do, they must do as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Chute. Governor, your closing remarks.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I must say it's not a very amusing day, but we've learned a lot, as you've said, very properly. You've raised very many legitimate issues here, and which I agree with you. To be honest, I simply went through this session, on this session, as far as this session is concerned, answer and questions, which I felt, and I was asking, have you guys discussed with the Auditor General? And some resolved, 3/4, and a few still outstanding. But I did not go through the details of what we've come here today. That much, I want to agree with the committee that we have homework to do. And the takeaway point is my team has to work harder. And I will get down to that and make sure that that is done. Having said that, Mr. Chairman, the questions raised are on some items, not all the 8 billion that, the impression might be created the whole financial year is, allocation has had issues. So the issues have been enumerated, and those are the issues we'll be answering as stipulated. Devolution, as you rightly said, has brought us and has made a big difference to the common mwananchi. In Marsabet, we boast of one of the best scholarships that this country has had. We are talking of a level 4 hospital, which is going to open its doors in the next couple of weeks. We are talking of a medical training college, which we have done and handed over to the Kenya Medical Training College. Although it is not, because there's need, we had to do it. I appreciate what you are raising, Senator. We've done a number of boreholes, number of dams. This has brought a lot of change to the people who never used to get these resources before devolution. For that, we have to stand and defend devolution, as required. So I want to take it that when coming before this committee, taking home what we have learned, and we take it very positively. But on a light note, immediately I sat down and I wanted to just register apology of my CEC, who was briefed. He lost his firstborn son. When I didn't get that opportunity, I read the mood of the House and said, today we are in for it. But we have learned a lot.
Order, Governor.
Thank you very much. I have finished, Mr. Chairman.
By practice, you are never allowed to make remarks before the administration of oath. And that is the reason why I asked you to wait until administration of oath. That was not a barometer or a thermometer of the mood of the committee. that is just procedure. So I think it's important that you withdraw that.
Mr. Chairman, I stand guided and I abide by your directions. We will come before the committee very organized.
As a former parliamentarian, withdrawal means I withdraw.
I withdraw, Mr. Chairman.
Very good. There are some governors who ran away from the Senate. At least I'm happy that you came to the Senate. So we have had those extremes of governors not wanting to account and governors being shy from responding to tough questions. It is to your benefit, Governor. You are in office during this duration, and an adverse opinion, if it remains unresolved, will haunt you. It is to your benefit, to your advantage, that we have this conversation when you are still in office. We have seen new governors come before us, and they will say that EO 8 billion ilikulwa, and they even tell us, send EACC. And if you're not careful, if we don't deal with these things now, and dealing with them does not mean covering up. It means getting responses and evidence for the expenditure. You might find yourself in a lot of problems. So please take what we have shared, the experience here. There could be positives and negatives. You can choose which one to take, but I want you to take the positive ones, that it has opened your eyes to some of the problems that you might be having at operational and tactical level. It is not enough to read that written response. Insist on knowing what is included in these bundles. Governors are brought here incriminating evidence. You go through it and realize that the amount of money stolen was much higher than what the Auditor General had cited. And you can only do that if you're involved in the audit exercise from entry up to exit. It is not beneath you, and it does not make you a lesser governor. In fact, if you are the CEO who comes to the Senate to respond to these issues, you must be on top of things and you must be involved in that. I believe as a private businessman, if auditors came to your private enterprise, you wouldn't allow them to enter and exit without telling you what they found out. So we will have to schedule another date for us to deal with issues. This being an adverse opinion, it will not be mixed up with another financial year, because adverse opinion and issues raised therein must be dealt with precision and with great focus. If in another financial year you are going to have an unqualified opinion, I can assure you that our conversation will be completely different. We'll be talking about those ECDs and water and health interventions that we have put in place. But as long as it's an adverse opinion, we will be talking about the shillings and cents, the procurement, the reconciliations, the cash books and bank certificates, because that is the level at which you have brought us. With that, we wish you a safe journey. We wish our Christian colleagues happy Easter, and our Muslim colleagues Ramadan Kareem. And the meeting is adjourned. The committee will meet on notice. Thank you.